The notification blinked on Sarah Chen's laptop. Meeting starting in 2 minutes. Her finger hovered over the trackpad, trembling. 2 months unemployed, 3 final notices from the electric company, and a daughter who needed asthma medication she couldn't afford. This interview was her last lifeline before everything collapsed. Sarah smoothed her thrift store blazer and clicked the Zoom link her recruiter had sent. The screen flickered to life, revealing not the HR manager she expected, but a sleek boardroom filled with executives in tailored suits. At the head of the table sat a silver-haired man whose presence commanded the screen. His nameplate read, Michael Hartley, CEO. Her stomach dropped. Wrong meeting. Completely wrong meeting. I'm so sorry, Sarah stammered, her face flushing crimson as 20 pairs of eyes turned toward her. I must have clicked the wrong link. I'll leave immediately. Her cursor darted toward the exit button, but Michael's voice stopped her cold. Stay. His tone wasn't angry. It was curious, almost gentle. I was waiting for you. Sarah froze, confusion washing over her features. What? There must be some mistake. I'm supposed to interview for a data analyst position, not... I know exactly who you are. Miss Chen. Michael leaned forward, his expression unreadable. Sarah Chen, formerly a senior, analyst at Brightwell Industries until they downsized 8 weeks ago. Single mother to a 7-year-old daughter. Currently 3 applications away from losing your apartment. He paused. Please don't leave. This meeting is exactly where you need to be. The other executives exchanged glances. Sarah's mind raced. How did he know all this? Was this some cruel corporate game? Her instinct screamed to disconnect, to preserve whatever dignity she had left. But something in Michael's eyes held her. There, a warmth that contradicted the coldness of corporate America she'd grown accustomed to. 6 months ago, Michael began, his voice softer now. My company faced a decision. We could take a lucrative contract with Meridian Corp, worth $40 million. It would have secured our quarterly profits, impressed our shareholders, made everyone in this room significantly wealthier. He gestured to the silent executives surrounding him. But there was a problem. The contract required us to implement software we knew had serious security vulnerabilities that would expose user data for thousands of families. Sarah's breath caught. She remembered reading about Meridian's data breach last year. Thousands of people had their information compromised, including social security numbers and bank accounts. Lives were destroyed. I received an email, Michael continued, pulling out his phone and holding it to the camera, from a data analyst at Brightwell Industries. Someone I'd never met. She had somehow discovered our plans, probably, through industry channels, and she wrote to warn me, not to threaten legal action, not to demand money for her silence, but to warn me, stranger to stranger, that if we proceeded, real people would get hurt. Sarah's hands flew to her mouth. She remembered that email. She'd sent it at 2 in the morning, after stumbling across the contract details in a shared industry database. She debated for hours whether to send it, knowing it might make waves, knowing it could mark her as a troublemaker, in an industry where discretion was currency. But she couldn't stay silent, not when families were at risk. You probably saved hundreds of people from financial ruin, Michael said, his voice thick with emotion. We investigated, found the vulnerabilities exactly where you said they'd be, and walked away from $40 million. My board was furious. Some of these people wanted my head. He smiled sadly at his colleagues, but it was the right thing to do. Because of you, we pivoted to a different contract, built better software, and ironically, ended up in a stronger position than if we'd taken the corrupt deal. One of the female executives spoke up, her expression softened. We spent months trying to track you down to thank you. But you'd listed no contact information except an anonymous email account. I didn't want recognition, Sarah whispered. I just wanted to help. Exactly. Michael's eyes glistened. And that's precisely why we need you. 2 weeks ago, I finally connected your anonymous email to your name. Through some persistent investigation, I discovered you'd been laid off, that you were struggling. When I saw you'd applied for a position in our company, a position several levels below what your skills deserve, I knew the universe was giving me a chance to repay an enormous debt. Sarah shook her head, tears streaming freely now. You don't owe me anything. I did what anyone should do. But that's where you're wrong, Michael said gently. Most people wouldn't. Most people would have looked the other way, protected their own interests, stayed silent. In a world that often rewards selfishness, you chose humanity. You chose kindness when it cost you everything and gained you nothing. He straightened in his chair. Ms. Chen, I'm not offering you the data analyst position you applied for. I'm offering you the newly created position of Chief Ethics Officer, with a salary of $250,000 annually, full benefits, and a signing bonus of $50,000 payable immediately. The room erupted, not in protest but in applause. Every executive was standing, clapping, their faces reflecting genuine respect and admiration. Sarah couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The numbers Michael had quoted were enough to solve every problem crushing her. Enough to get her daughter's medication, save her apartment, rebuild her life. Why? She finally managed to choke out. Why create this position for me? Michael's expression grew serious. Because I've learned something in 30 years of business. Ms. Chen, we hire for skills, but we should promote for character. We chase profits, but we should chase integrity. Every company has financial officers, marketing officers, operations officers. But how many have someone whose sole job is to ensure we never lose sight of our humanity? Someone who will speak truth to power, even when it's uncomfortable? Someone who will protect the people our decisions affect? He smiled. I need someone who will send a warning, email at 2 in the morning to a stranger because it's the right thing to do. I need you. Sarah thought of her daughter, Emma, waiting at home with her grandmother. Emma, who'd been so brave about eating cereal for dinner 3 nights in a row. Emma, who'd offered to sell her beloved stuffed animals to help pay bills. Emma, who deserved a mother who could provide without breaking. I accept, Sarah said, her voice steady despite her tears. On one condition. Michael raised an eyebrow. Name it. That you let me help build a program where this company actively seeks out struggling professionals with integrity, where we create opportunities for people who do the right thing even when no one's watching, where we prove that kindness and success aren't mutually exclusive. Michael's smile could have lit the entire city. Ms. Chen, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership. Welcome to Hartley Industries. Welcome home. As Sarah finally disconnected from the meeting, she sat in her small apartment, staring at the blank screen. Outside her window, the autumn sun was setting, painting the sky in golds and purples. In her email, a contract was already waiting. Along with Michael's personal note, thank you for reminding me why we do this. Your daughter is lucky to have you. Sarah called Emma into the room and held her close. Baby, everything's going to be okay now. Because of the interview, Mama. Because, Sarah said, kissing her daughter's forehead, kindness always finds its way home. Even when it takes the long road, even when you think no one's watching, someone always is, and your good deeds never disappear into darkness. That night, Sarah Chen slept peacefully for the first time in months, knowing that somewhere in the universe, the scales of justice had balanced, not because she'd demanded it, but because one person had chosen to see her, really see her, and decided that goodness deserved to be rewarded. Sometimes, she thought, you enter the wrong meeting at exactly the right time,